The sixth type of market failure occurs when we have a monopoly. So a monopoly is a type of firm which is said to dominate the market. So in other words, they have a big market share of a particular market. So that means that the customers in a particular market with a monopoly often will struggle to buy from anyone else. So they only have one choice of company which to buy their products from. Now, what I want to think about now is whether a monopoly is a good or a bad thing or not. So we'll consider the good aspects of a monopoly first of all, and then we'll think about the bad aspects of a monopoly. Let's think about the good ones then first of all. Now, one great thing about a monopoly is because they dominate the market, they should have lots of customers, which means they have a high output. Now, what this should mean is that because they've got a high output, they should be able to take advantage of high economies of scale. So, for example, they can afford to invest money in research and development to make things better. They have the ability to buy things in large quantities. Now, the benefits of this should mean that they should have a lower average total cost than a firm which doesn't have a high output, so one in a competitive market, for example. What this theory should allow the firm to do is to lower the prices that people pay for their products. So this in turn should mean that we have higher economic welfare. What we also have is a natural monopoly argument. This exists when we have really, really high setup costs involved in entering a particular marketplace. So, for example, if we were to set up a competing firm for Yorkshire Water, we're going to have to buy all the infrastructure, build a reservoir, build a pipe network into people's houses, have different taps in people's houses. That seems really inefficient because you're duplicating what's already there. It's unlikely that both firms would survive. And the same thing goes for mail delivery services. If we had competition, we'd have different sets of post boxes on the streets. We'd also have different people coming to our door every day with letters. The duplication of services seems a waste of time and effort. Now, bad effects of a monopoly, though. They're the only firm in the market. They can exploit people. They know that people are price inelastic for their products. They can charge people high prices. They can make high profits. And they've got no need to reinvest these because people will still buy their products no matter how good or bad they are. So we've got this problem that people will not receive low prices because any economies of scale the firm gets will go simply into increasing their profit levels. So we've got these good and we've got these bad points about a monopoly. Now what we're going to think about now is how the government could potentially intervene in this market to correct this monopoly problem. So make the monopoly work in the customer's best interests. One way is to reduce barriers to entry. Barriers to entry are things that stop new firms from coming into this market and competing with them. So for example, the high setup costs. Maybe challenging a big established brand is difficult due to the reputation that firm has got. What the government can do is try to reduce these barriers to entry. It might give subsidies to new firms to produce a particular product, help them enter that market and compete with existing firms. If there's competition, monopolists should behave well. They won't be able to exploit people anymore because if they do, customers will start to go elsewhere. Other options, state production. Let's allow the government to provide monopoly services on behalf of people. They're there to represent us, they're not there to make profit, so they should in theory allow produce these products in the quantities and at the prices that people should be paying for these products. Third option is regulation. Here what we do is we allow the monopoly to exist, but we set limits on the prices they can charge people, the profits they can make, targets they have for economies of scale. If we set in place those regulations, we can make the monopoly work in the best interests of the customer. That is monopoly.